Hey pups! RP here, and welcome back to another pup reviews of Veggietales. Today, we'll be looking at Dave and the Giant Pickle, released in 1996, a retelling of the story of David and Goliath. No, not that David and Goliath. And this episode is actually one of, if not the shorter episodes of the show. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. That aside, on to the review. We cut to the countertop where
danger lurks in the big city. Disaster waits in every dark alley.
wait a second. What's going on?
I am that hero. They call me Larry Boy.
Oh yeah, this was Larry Boy's big debut. And now a demonstration of his powers. Well, that was anticlimactic. That's when Bob appears on the countertop with Larry.
I'm Larry Boy. Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Larry Boy. But dude, it's Bob. The tomato, your coworker in front of the show. Veggietales, remember?
Bob, I don't know Bob.
Oh, Larry. After Larry gets unstuck, Bob suggests Larry Boy turn back into Larry, which Larry refuses to, because there's nothing special about plain old Larry, which is why he created the superhero, Larry Boy. Bob getting an idea, he...
I could... Larry,
Oh my gosh, poor Bob. Well, as we were gonna say, that is...
Ow, that's smart. Hey, look. I'm a merry-go-round.
Oh man, that was my favorite part as a kid. Anyway, Bob then tells of a letter they received from Myra Eggleston of Youngstown, Pennsylvania, saying her older siblings could do things like play soccer, dance ballet, and all kinds of stuff. Except for Myra, because she's too young, and too little, and wants to know what's special about her, which leads us to the telling of Dave and Goliath, with Dave being a shepherd, living in a field of sheep, along with his 7 brothers. No, that's not him, that's his brother. Nope, another brother. Nope, another brother. Ah, wait, that's a sheep. Shoo there, Fluffy. There he is. Dave is, of course, played by Junior, with 3 out of his 7 brothers played by Jimmy and Jerry Gord and Tom Grape. Junior isn't too happy playing Dave in the story, mainly because their sheep have a weird problem.
They tip over. Oh, look, there goes one now.
And Dave's problem is he's the youngest and smallest of all the brothers.
That's right. Everybody's bigger than I am.
And sometimes his brothers would pick on him.
Oh, look. All my sheep fell over. Dave.
Later, their dad, Jesse, played by Paul Grape, arrives and...
Dave, can you pick those up?
Dang! Anywho, Pa comes in with horrible news that...
The lima beans are, lacking?
No,
The nectarines are quacking?
no. Pa, explain please.
The Philistines are attacking!
Panic! Well, wait a second, dude.
Bob, what are the Philippines?
The Philippines are a group of islands off the coast of Southeast Asia.
First geography lesson in childhood about the Philippines. But that's not important. The Philistines were folks who hated Israel and wanted to enslave the Israelites. Thankfully, King Saul, played by Archibald Asparagus, put together an army with the help of Dave's brothers, but not Dave because he's too little. So he has to stay with the sheep. When they get to the battlefield, we meet 2 new characters, Jean-Claude and Christophe the French Peas. Though some fans confuse Christophe with Philippe P. when he was introduced in Josh and the Big Wall. And Christophe, after this episode, was pretty much forgotten after this point. After the episode. That aside, they all yell at each other and come to an agreement that whichever team wins with their best fighter, the losing team will be the winner's slaves. King Saul agreed, saying the Philistines are on the small side, both literally and figuratively, and now the fun begins. Dun dun dun! And this leads us into another fan favorite sleigh song, I Love My Lips. This silly song was originally called I Love My Tongue when Mike first wrote it as a yodeling song, which was later won over by the yodeling veterinarian of the Alps. So they stuck with lips and musical scatting rather than yodeling in tongues.
Have I ever told you how I feel about my nose?
Oh, look at the time!
That aside, onward with the episode. With the Israelites being too scared to fight Goliath, they all ran away and hid, with Goliath coming back to repeat the process for 40 days. Jesse, getting worried about his boys, sends Dave to the battlefield with some food. As soon as Dave arrived, all the Israelites were already hiding around the time Goliath came out.
Well, who's gonna fight him?
Which Dave and I are on the same page here. But the reason why nobody wants to fight him is because they're all too scared. But Dave reminds them of one thing, after giving them some delicious stuffed crust pizza, of course.
Come on, guys. Have you forgotten? We're the children of God.
The children of God are, well, I'll let Bob explain. Ha! Larry has popcorn on his head. Okay, silliness aside, I'll let Bob explain.
The Bible says that the Israelites were God's chosen people. They had always known that if God was on their side, no one could stand against them.
But since they're all scared of Goliath, they completely forgot about that, and Goliath talks smack about the Israelites.
They told me that you are the children of God. You are cowards.
Oh boy, them's fighting words. This in turn enrages Dave, and marches right to King Saul and announces his plan.
I will fight Goliath.
He spat out water. Jokes aside, King Saul took the news better than expected. When he asks Dave if he really is planning to beat Goliath, Dave says yes, and King Saul pretty much says, nope, that's a big man's job, you're too little. So Dave explains his plan in song and dance. More song than dance, so to speak. But in order for me to avoid any more copyright, I'll explain the summary of the scene and song. Dave says, yeah, I'm small, but God is bigger and Goliath won't beat me. And King Saul's like, okay, but just in case, borrow my sword and armor, just in case. And Dave doesn't really fit well in the armor and can't carry the sword, and says, I'll just go with the plan of God on my side, and I'm sure we'll win because God is bigger than Goliath, dude. And King Saul's all, okay, well, good luck then. Dave then goes to a stream to pick up 5 smooth stones, goes back to the camp, and waits for Goliath, and volunteers to battle, which is surprising to everyone, even Goliath.
Who said that?
I did.
Dude, he's down there!
Oh, am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?
That makes no sense at all whatsoever, dude. Let's get to the battle scene. Let's go! Let the battle begin! With that, Goliath is now dead, and Israel reigns supreme! And the Philistines are now slaves to the Israelites, and are terrified of little Dave, and Israel is now saved by little Dave. Who says good things don't come in small packages, and little guys couldn't do much? Dave proved everyone wrong. Back to the countertop, Bob and Larry are about to review the lesson, but Bob is trying to avoid the What Have We Learned song by whispering.
Oh, you mean the song that plays every time you say, and now it's time to talk about what we've learned today?
And so what we have learned applies to our lives today.
Oh, Larry. Oh well. After recapping the story and Larry realizing that he doesn't have to dress up like a superhero to be special, they go over to Cordy for the verse, with God all things are possible, Matthew 19:26. And Larry's kind of confused here about what the verse means.
'Cause I've always wanted to be a chicken. Do you think God would turn me into a chicken?
Larry. You know, I want to be Mongoose. Oh wait, no! Mongoose dog! God, Arceus, Jesus, whoever's up there as a higher being, can I be a Mongoose dog, please? I'm waiting! Still waiting! Still waiting! Bob explains the verse meaning, anything God wants us to do, we can do. So, kind of like the Christian version of Blue's Clues, we could do anything we want to do. Sort of. Oh well. That's kind of my interpretation of what the verse means. In a way. With that, the episode ends. And, well, Larry decides to stick around and... Oh, Larry. Well, that aside, what did I think of this episode? Well, let's see. Even though the episode was short, it was one of my favorites growing up from what I remember. I like the battle and victory music of Dave vs. Goliath, as well as the introduction to the new characters of Goliath, which is weird we didn't really see him again for a while until the DVD special Little Guys Can Do Big Things and the Veggietales show. And their boys debuted prior to Fit from Outer Space. Though the episode was short, it was rather good overall. I especially love the silly song I Love My Lips. That aside, not much I can really say about David the Giant Pickle. So, I'd give it a pleasing 4.5 out of 5. I know this review was short like the episode itself, but more Veggietales reviews are to come in the near future. Also, since I've already done a review of Larry Boy and the Fit from Outer Space, the next review will be on Josh and the Big Wall. Look forward to that and more reviews in the future. And don't forget to check out my Larry Boy review as well. That being said, cue the outro, RP is out, peace!